Hello, Oilers fans. Alex, the Oilers fan here, and welcome to Game 8, the final preseason game for the Edmonton Oilers before the games actually count for something. The Edmonton Oilers are in Vancouver to take on the Canucks. And looking at the lineup tonight, it is about as NHL ready as you can imagine. As we get to the lineups here, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. Fantastic. So, let's take a look at the lines. Let's go through the lines, shall we? So, McDavid between Leon Draisaitl and Trent Frederic. This is the top line that the newly signed, or re-signed, I should say, Chris Knoblauch is going to roll with to start the regular season, at least for the first month until Hyman comes back. They've played together two previous times before tonight. The first time, not a lot going on from those guys. Second game against the Canucks was a bit better, but they weren't facing a full Canucks lineup like I'm sure Vancouver is icing tonight. So it'll be interesting to see how those three deal with it. Second line, you have Ryan Nugent-Hopkins between Vasily Podkolzin, who is back after going back to Russia after his father's passing. May he rest in peace. And Andrew Mangiapane. Third line, Noah Philp, who missed Wednesday's game against Seattle due to illness, and we'll get to the illness because it's still impacting the team, between Adam Henrique and Matthew Savoy. Savoy at this point is a lock to make this team. He is a lock to make this team. I can't see him not making it. So Savoy is a lock to make this team. Where he plays, I don't know. Probably in the bottom six, though, because this is probably what you're looking at opening night right now. And then fourth line, you have David Tomashek, who also missed Wednesday's game with an illness, between Ike Howard and Kasperi Kapanen. I am unsure if Howard will make the opening night roster, but he is on the fourth line. And if Edmonton does decide to roll with this lineup, already I don't like where I'm seeing Savoy and Howard playing. I would like to see them get more minutes. I'd like them to see playing together on the third line, if I'm going to be honest. If you're going to put them down in the bottom six, put both of them on the third line with Noah Philp. Or Adam Henrique, I don't care. Or David Tomashek. I don't care either way. Defensively, they're going Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, Stetcher, Kulak, Emberson. For me, this is sort of like the last prove it game for Stetcher and Emberson. Right now, both of those guys are fighting with Alec Regula for that final spot on the right-hand side, who will be playing with Kulak in the regular season. And both of those guys got to show me something tonight. And then goaltenders, Stuart Skinner was supposed to play tonight, but unfortunately the injury/illness bug has hit the Edmonton Oilers already, and so Stuart Skinner is sitting out tonight because he is sick. He will be good to go for Wednesday's opener against the Calgary Flames. So Calvin Pickard is playing with Matt Tompkins backing him up. Now, the big news in Oil Country today. The Edmonton Oilers have re-signed Chris Knoblauch to a contract extension. It is a 3-year deal that will go to the end of the 2028-2029 NHL season. Anyone who is surprised by this shouldn't be surprised. This should be this was a pretty much a given. I think at this point, he was hired in, if I remember correctly, it was November of 2023. Actually, I can look it up. Why am I trying to figure this out? Knob lock. There we go. Let's take a look here. Chris Knobloch. All right. Current NHL coach, Edmonton Oilers. Yeah, so on November 12th, 2023, he was hired by the Edmonton Oilers. His record since then in, let's take a look here, 151 regular season games. He has a 94, 47, and 10 record, which is a .656 winning percentage. In the playoffs, he's 29 and 18 at a .617 with back-to-back trips to the Stanley Cup Final. Now, obviously, Edmonton didn't win either of those trips to the Stanley Cup Final, but you have one coach who takes you back-to-back, you're going to resign him. And that's exactly what Edmonton has done. Absolutely 100%. For me, this is where this is a good deal. It really is. You have a coach that is been proven to be successful with this group. You have a coach who has, for the most part, made the right calls and made the right decisions. Obviously, some of his decisions in the Stanley Cup Final, especially the second time around, were a bit, I don't want to say wrong, but they could have been better. For me, it is pretty much, it's a good deal. It really is a good deal for Edmonton. You're getting a guy who knows his group, has, for the most part, coached well, and his record speaks for itself. Now, a lot of people are going to quick to point out, and I know some people already have, well, he's coaching McDavid and Draisaitl, and that's not that hard to do. If it's not that hard to coach Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, how come Chris Knobloch is the only coach in the McDavid-Draisaitl era to not only make the Stanley Cup Finals, but do it back-to-back years? Sure, having McDavid and Draisaitl helps, but so does having a good coach behind the bench who gets the players to play a certain way, right? McClellan couldn't do it, and I liked Todd. At least in the first couple of years. It was weird. Todd and Peter Chiarelli, and I'm going to make this note here as we have a ceremonial puck drop between Quinn Hughes and Connor McDavid. For the first couple of years, Peter Chiarelli and Todd McClellan said and did the right things. You know what about Taylor Hall? We're going to just hear me out. And for me, it was a breath of fresh air for this group, and then they kind of soured. And then you had Ken Hitchcock, who was an absolute joke. And then you had Dave Tippett, who, again, started off well, and then as the seasons went on, slowly descended into madness that we didn't like. And then you had Jay Woodcroft, who again came in. It was a breath of fresh air. You know, his first half season behind the bench when Dave Tippett was fired. Again, he comes in, gets the Oilers playing a certain way that plays their strengths. They go to the Western Conference Final. And then the year after, they get into the second round against Vegas. They went on a ridiculous run at the end of the season. I think they won like 21 of their final 26 games or something like that. I don't remember. But at the end of that playoff run for Edmonton, it was clear that some changes needed to be made. And then, of course, they go into that next season, the 2023-2024 season, with the caveat of it's cup or bust with this group. And that's kind of the point that the Oilers had gotten to with McDavid and Draisaitl. And then, of course, they have the just absolute worst start that anyone could have imagined. I think they won like 2 of their first 13 games or something like that. And credit to Ken Holland. He pulled that trigger to bring in Knoblauch, and it's been money ever since. Knoblauch comes in. The Oilers went on that 16-game winning streak and all that good stuff. So, yeah, well-deserved extension for Chris. I'm excited to see what he's going to do with the group this year. As we get a look at the starting goaltenders, Calvin Pickard is playing tonight. As I said, Stuart Skinner is ill, and Thatcher Demko is going to be at the other end of the rink. For the Canucks, both teams basically icing a full roster tonight. As we get a look at Vasily Podkolzin. Actually, they didn't mention this on the broadcast, but one of the Canucks players actually just went up and gave Vasily a handshake, talking about his father probably. So a good bit of camaraderie there from the Canucks players. And it's a scramble face-off, and the Canucks are going to win. So they're starting the new Mangiapane and Podkolzin line, and already Mangiapane goes in on the forecheck, deflects a puck into the corner, but the Canucks are going to get Troy Stecher behind his own net. He's going to send it up to Mangiapane. He's going to tip it over to a guy. He's going to take the shot. It's going to go deflected wide. Podkolzin's going to flip that puck out off the boards. He's going to get it back. He's going to skate in. He's going to kind of sort of win a puck battle there. Oh my God, I love the... Oh, Vasily, I love you. It escaped the zone, but he won a puck battle against like 3 Canucks. All right, we look at the first change to McDavid, Draisaitl on the ice. Here goes Connor. Back pass to Draisaitl. Draisaitl's going to stop up. He's going to try and pass it, but it's going to go to Bouchard. He's just going to try and flick it into the corner. It's going to get intercepted by Elias Pettersson, who's going to send it up to Jake DeBrusk. And someone's going to fly in on Matthias Ekholm, who lost his stick. And you got Brock Besser up to... Tries to set it back to the point. Nothing doing there. It's going to go all the way down. And Thatcher Demko's going to stop it behind the net. He's going to leave it for Quinn Hughes, who's going to pass it up to Besser. He's going to flip it into the Oilers zone. Calvin Pickard's going to spear that into the corner. And we got Ty Emberson falling on the ice. McDavid. Drop pass for Draisaitl. Draisaitl. Back pass to Emberson. Emberson. He's just going to gain the blue line, dump it in, and the Oilers are going to go for a change. Let's get a look at the Canucks lineup here. So Elias Pettersson between Jake DeBrusk and Brock Besser. All right. Philip Hedl between Arshdeep Bains and Connor Garland. All righty. Braden Coots between... Oh, Kane's playing, and Jonathan... Okay. Teddy Bluger between Drew O'Connor and Kiefer Sherwood. So Kane is playing tonight. Oh, boy. Quinn Hughes with Philip Roenick. Marcus Pettersson with Tyler Myers. And Elias Pettersson, the defenseman, with Tom Willander. Okay, so... But Kane is playing in this game. That'll be interesting. Puck dumped into the Canucks zone. And number 29, I think that's Marcus Pettersson. He's going to pick it up. So the 3 Petterssons are playing tonight. Oh, there's Kane. I see Kane. Kane already running into the Oilers defenseman. Good Lord. It was great seeing Kane. All right, Howard. Tries to send it out in front. Back to the point. Bouchard. He's going to send it down low for Tomashik. David Tomashik. Behind the net. Gets taken down. Howard gets taken down. Ekholm. Fakes a slap shot. Kane trying to get him to pass the puck. That is awesome. Oh, man. Tomashik tried to make a move. Sorry, was that... Who was that? It was a Kapanen. Sorry, Kapanen makes a move to the inside. Puck still in the Vancouver Canucks zone. Howard tries the shot, and it's going to get saved by Thatcher Demko. All right. Mangiapane in on the forecheck. Vasily Podkolzin now in the forecheck. And it's going to get deflected into the Oilers zone. Calvin Pickard. Oh, man. After that Seattle goal, do not want to see Calvin Pickard not handling the puck. All right. Oilers back to Emberson. Emberson over to his defense partner. He's going to send it up. And here comes Nugent Hopkins. Nuge gets into the zone. It's going to go cross ice to Mangiapane just behind the Breadman. And here come the Canucks. And they're just going to flip it in behind the Oilers net and go for a change. Pickard leaves it for... Is that Nurse? No, that is Emberson. Leaves it... I thought he got it to Draisaitl. Even the camera was fooled. Kulak spins in his own zone. Passes it up. McDavid tried to knock that down. He couldn't do it. Tyler Myers is there. Elias Pettersson loses it in his feet. He's going to get it back. Canucks are going to send it around right to Draisaitl. Draisaitl is going to find Trent Frederick just out of his reach. The Canucks are going to pick that up. Flick it into the Oilers zone. Troy Stetcher over to Darnell Nurse. Nurse. Bad clearing attempt by Nurse. Shot from the point. I think that was Tyler Myers who hammered that. And it was indeed Tyler Myers who hammered that. And Calvin Pickard with the save. This is all because Darnell Nurse could not get that puck out. Although, yeah, good save. Yeah. No traffic in front of Pickard. He saw that all the way. All right, face off to the left of Calvin Pickard. You have Noah Philp going up against, I think that's DiGiuseppe. Nurse to Stetcher. Savoy. Noah Philp. Savoy has the puck. He's going to send it across to Nurse. Here comes Nurse. He's going to flip it in. Noah Philp's going to go after it. Balked out by number 25 on the defense for Vancouver. Noah Philp behind the net. Leaves it for Adam Henrique. Henrique battling in the corner with Connor Garland. Puck is going to roll to Philp. He can't control it, and the Canucks are going to grab it, and they're going to skate it out. Here come the Canucks. That's Connor Garland. Garland, he's going to try and sweep it in front of the net. Couldn't do it to Hedl. It was intercepted. Oh, bad play by Philp. Philp, back to the point for Quinn Hughes. Hughes. Cross ice to Hronik. Hronik, he's going to take that shot. It's going to go wide. Pickard didn't see it because of his reaction time to the shot going near him, or to the puck going near him. He had no idea where that puck was going. Stetcher over to Nurse. Nurse is just going to sit, wait, and look for traffic to clear. So who do we have on the ice? We got Ike Howard. All right, Tomashik skates it up. Tried to make it a move around Evander Kane. It's picked off. Here come the Canucks. Shot into the mask of Pickard. Kane was there on the doorstep looking for the rebound, but nothing doing there. Ekholm sends it around to Bouchard. Bouchard. He's going to send it up on Demko as my stream goes black. And the Canucks are going to ice it. So what happened here? So Tomashik tried to make a move. Kane picked it off. Found Lecker-Mackey. All right. McDavid's going to win that face-off back to the... It wasn't back to the point. Trent Frederick there in a battle. The Canucks are going to come up with it. Draisaitl escapes in his own zone. Whoever that was didn't like that. He kind of got picked off. Draisaitl's going to get taken down. And that's not going to be a penalty. So both teams kind of get away with one here. Drew O'Connor sends it in front. Tyler Myers with a weak shot that just goes wide. Puck in front. Good block there by Bouchard to make sure that puck doesn't get backdoor. Flipped in on Demko. And the Edmonton Oilers and Canucks remain at zeros. We have ourselves our first commercial break. Cool. Cool. All right. 13:07 left in the first period. Shots are 3-2 in favor of the Canucks. Quinn Hughes. He's going to start it up in his own zone. He's going to do a stretch pass to Elias Pettersson. He can't get around. Who is that, Nurse? Where's Stetcher? No, that was Kulak. Good defensive play by Brett Kulak to prevent Elias Pettersson from getting anywhere close to Edmonton's net. Puck sent around. Emberson's going to hold it at the point. Mangiapane is going to send it in front. And that's going to get picked off. And here comes Jake DeBrusk. DeBrusk in, missed the net. Again, good defensive play by Kulak to make sure DeBrusk couldn't get a clean look at the net. Disrupted him just enough to force that, to possibly even deflect that puck wide or force DeBrusk to shoot earlier than he would have liked. All right, Nugent Hopkins behind the Canucks net. Nuge back to the point for Stetcher. Cross to Darnell Nurse. Nurse cross ice to Nuge. Puck is in the corner. It's being held by Hronek. Henrique there in a battle. Henrique back to the point. Shot by Nurse. Blocker saved by Demko. Puck is going to escape the zone, and a Oilers defenseman is there to collect. I believe that's, or that's not the defenseman. That was Philp. My apologies. Going for the change. Phillips comes on. Canucks are going to send it around. That is probably going to be icing against Vancouver. It is not, as Darnell Nurse holds it behind the Oilers net. He's going to stretch it up to Troy Stetcher. Stetcher against the blue line, dumps it in, is going to go for a change. Savoy behind the Canucks net, over to Philip Hedl. Hedl's going to send it up. Savoy with a poke check, and he's going to grab it back. He's going to drop for Ekholm. Matthias Ekholm goes to cross ice to Bouchard. Bouchard tried to make a pass, but an Oilers player was changing, so it's just going to go off the boards right to the Canucks. They're going to flip it into the zone. Ekholm's going to stop behind the net. And Ekholm finds Kapanen at the Canucks blue line. He's going to chip it in. And the Canucks are going to grab it. Lecker-Mackey is going to find a guy, and we have a 2-on-1. Tyler Myers is going to take another slap shot. Another weak slapper from Tyler Myers, and that's easily gloved by Calvin Pickard. We have a stoppage in play. Looking at the replay, it was like a 2-on-1, but Ekholm was covering that well, and Bouchard was there getting back. So I rip on Tyler Myers for the shot, but he really didn't have much of a choice. It was either try to get it over to Kane, and it was either going to get intercepted by Ekholm or Bouchard, or just take the shot, and he just decided to take the shot. So it was a weak shot, but it was probably the only option he had at that moment. Kapanen and Tomashik in on the forecheck. Tomashik over to Kapanen. Shot for the point. Missed the net. Bouchard sends it down low for Tomashik. He's going to leave it for Kapanen. Kapanen spins away. Spins away again. Spins away another time. Henrique goes in on the forecheck. Shot. Missed the net. Bouchard. Over to Kapanen. Drops for Ekholm. Ekholm's going to take the shot. He's going to be right off the mask. It was dropped at Tomashik's feet, and he was not there. Or he couldn't. He was tied up, so he couldn't get the puck. Bouchard. Tomashik. Oh, man. Puck is bouncing around everywhere. Kapanen. Bouchard. Drops for Henrique. Over to Ekholm. I'm liking that fourth line. I like what I saw from that fourth line there. Stretch pass. For Frederick. Couldn't hold the puck. Giuseppe. I believe that's who it is. Puck comes out in front. Shot. Blockered away by Pickard. Frederick. Draisaitl. Can't control the puck. And the puck is going to get collected by Quinn Hughes. Hughes is going to try and send it up. It's going to get deflected in the Oilers zone. Troy Stetcher is going to be there to pick it up. Troy Stetcher. Over to Frederick. He can't hold on to the puck properly. A Canuck player, Elias Pettersson, did get tripped. McDavid intercepts a pass, tries to get it over to Draisaitl. Draisaitl has it. Draisaitl tried to go cross ice to McDavid. Troy Stetcher. This is the problem you have with these two guys on the same line. They're going to constantly try to find each other, and their passes are getting picked off. Draisaitl finds Mangiapane, goes back to Emberson. Draisaitl's at the end of his shift. Emberson. He's holding on to it. Still holding on to it. Finds Kulak. Brett Kulak. Tried to give it to Savoy. Now Savoy has it. And that's Podkolzin. My apologies. Kulak. Cross ice to Nuge. Goes cross ice to Mangiapane. Mangiapane goes back to Nuge. Nuge tries to find a guy in front, and it just goes wide. I believe that was Brett Kulak up on the rush, and indeed it was. Podkolzin steals it back to the point for Emerson. Back to down low for Nuge. Nuge. He's going to send it in front of the net. Podkolzin and I think that was Mangiapane who was there. Nice. This second line is also pretty good. I'm liking the forecheck from Mangiapane and Podkolzin. Kulak pinches down low. Nugent Hopkins battling. He's got 2 Canucks there. 3 Canucks there, but they cannot come away with it. Oh, man, Kulak tried a backdoor tap or backdoor pass, and a Canuck had to lay on the ice. Otherwise, it was a backdoor tap in for a guy streaking down towards the net. Can't really complain about how Edmonton's playing so far. Each line has gone out there and done something. More specifically, holy crap, that was a risky thing. The puck was just thrown on the Oilers net, and Pickard had to be sharp. Actually, I say that. Lines 2 through 4. So lines 2, 3, and 4 have actually gone out and done something. The top line has not yet. I have not seen anything from the top line that I like. Oh, here we go. Poke check. Savoy had his stick held. That should be a penalty. How is that not a penalty? That was a held stick. What the hell? That should be a penalty here. What? Puck rolled in on Pickard. All right. Top line back out there. Canucks are going to send it into the Oilers zone. That's going to be icing against Vancouver. We have a stoppage in play here. I think we have a penalty. All right. So a Canucks player is going off for tripping, and Edmonton's going to have the first power play. That's true. Okay. He agrees with me. All right. The Canucks appear to be collecting Petersons like Pokemon. All right. So what do we got? Power play for 2 minutes for Edmonton. Yeah, that looks good. We're just gonna keep it like that. There we go. All right. All right. So Kiefer Sherwood to the box for tripping McDavid. Oh, that was dangerous. McDavid skates. All right. Kiefer Sherwood. Here we go. So top power play for Edmonton. You're going to have McDavid, Draisaitl, Tomashik, Nugent-Hopkins, and Bouchard out there. So here we go. McDavid wins the faceoff. Tyler Myers is going to collect that puck, though. Send it over to Connor Garland. He's just going to flip it out. And Bouchard is going to be there to collect in the Oilers zone. Canucks ranked third on the PK last year? I did not know that. That's interesting. All right, McDavid. Over to Draisaitl. Back to Bouchard. Bouchard cross ice to McDavid. He's going to try and find Draisaitl across because, of course, he does because the Oilers don't have any other play. Back to Bouchard. Cross ice to Draisaitl. You have Nugent-Hopkins and Tomashik on the ice as well, guys. Make sure you pass it to them. Bouchard's going to take that shot. And Demko is going to hold on to it. All right. Face off to the right of Demko. McDavid's going to win it. Back to Nuge. Over to Bouchard. Bouchard. Cross ice for McDavid. Back to Nuge. McDavid. Come on, guys. You have a guy. Yeah. Oh, for fuck's sake. All right. Bouchard. McDavid. He's going to stop. McDavid. Back to Bouchard. Over to McDavid. Come on, David. What? Okay. Passes it down low to Nude. Goes back to McDavid. Back to the point for Bouchard. You guys got to shoot it. McDavid. Nuge. Cross to Bouchard. Bouchard hops over his stick. Shoot it. McDavid. Passes off to Bouchard. Fakes the slapper. Back to McDavid. Okay, that was not bad. McDavid sent it in front to Tomashik, who tipped it right into the glove of Thatcher Demko. That was actually not a bad play. I will give him credit for that. That was pretty good. Not bad at all. All right, 35 seconds left to go. And the Oilers have switched their power play units, so that means the power play is now over. Henrique, back to the point for Ekholm. Over to Howard. Howard, back to Savoy. Howard goes across ice. Puck cleared out. 24 seconds left in the power play. And like I said, as soon as that second unit comes on, Edmonton is done. Their power play is over. You're just killing whatever time is left at that point. Ekholm sends it down low. Frederick. Ooh. If there was an Oiler in front of the net, that would have helped. Oh, God. Here comes Pickard. The Canucks escaped the power play, or the penalty kill, unscathed. Henrique skates it into the zone. He's going to stop it along the boards, and then he's going to chip it into the Canucks zone and go on the forecheck. Quinn Hughes. He's going to skate up with it. Mangiapane back to Stetcher. Over to Darnell Nurse. Nurse. He's going to hit the puck at the blue line. It's going to escape. The Canucks have to send it back in. Podkolzin. He's going to flip it out. And that's going to be an icing call against Edmonton. With 3:14 left in the first period. Stetcher from his knees plays it back to Philp. Goes across to Kulak. That puck is going to get flipped out, and that's also going to be another icing call against Edmonton. Nope, never mind. Apparently it touched something along the way. A Canuck player doesn't have a stick. That's Quinn Hughes. He's going to go pick it up. Podkolzin. Back to the point for Stetcher. Stetcher. Down low for Mangiapane. He's going to get bullied by Hronik. Philp goes in there now. Mangiapane and Stetcher both go to the puck. Mangiapane's going to get it, though. Mangiapane. He's going to take that shot. It's going to get blocked in front of the net and through traffic. Here comes Elias Peterson. He's going to just going to flip it into the Oilers zone. 2:25 left in the first period. Score remains at 0, as you guys can tell from the scoreboard I have in the on the screen here. Draisaitl's going to find McDavid. McDavid's going to go, and it's going to be a penalty because Kapanen took it at the Canuck blue line. So now the Canucks will have a power play with 2:12 left in the first period. Okay, so Oilers on the penalty kill. Kasperi Kapanen going off for interference. Draisaitl. I mean, yeah, that's interference all day. And he's one of your penalty killers, too. All right, well, time to see what's going on. What do we have a thing here for? Okay. So you have the penalty killing unit of Noah Philp. I assume Bouchard and Ekholm are out there, and indeed they are. So who's the other player? It's Savoy, it looks like. So Philp, Savoy, Bouchard, Ekholm. The Canucks have Evander Kane with Brock Besser, Pettersson, Jabrusk, and Quinn Hughes. Puck is going to go back to the point. Edmonton's going to get an early clear. And Evander Kane is going to drop it for Quinn Hughes. So the Canucks rolling out an interesting power play selection here. You got two potential net front presences. Kane's going to get some top power play unit time on Vancouver that he never got in Edmonton. Kane shot a hole. He rang it off. He either missed the net or he rang it off the post. Kane's going to get some top power play time that he never got in Edmonton. So, Pettersson, Besser. Quinn Hughes is going to take that shot, blocked in front. And who is that? Is that Nugent Hopkins? Nugent Hopkins is going to leave a shorthanded break. Nugent Hopkins got it back to Mangiapane. Mangiapane got it back to Nugent. It was just out of his reach, but they did end up rolling it in on Thatcher Demko, who had to smother it. So how did this one... Oh, he hit the post. He beat Pickard clean. Oh, no, Pickard did get a piece of it. My apologies. Pickard did get a piece of it with the stick. But yeah, that was a nice... So, there we go. By the end of the season, Kane will have hit 1,000 NHL games, so congratulations to him. All right, McDavid. So yeah, McDavid and Draisaitl out there on a penalty killing with Nurse and Stetcher. Oh, this is going to go terribly wrong. I can tell you that right now. Edmonton, McDavid and Draisaitl aren't penalty killers. Draisaitl for the faceoffs, yeah, but they're not penalty killers. Oh, a guy tried to go backdoor, and that was a backdoor tap, and if that pass connected, Draisaitl's going to clear it and get it out. 38 seconds left in the period. 20 seconds left in the power play for Vancouver. Savoy tries to go off the boards. Noah Philp's going to go off the boards, and he's going to get out. 7 seconds left on the PK for Edmonton. They're going to send it back in. Calvin Pickard's going to try and stop behind the net. And that's a goal. Lekkerimäki right in the slot, all alone. He's going to wire it past Pickard, and it's 1-0 Vancouver. Even strength goal, though. Oh, that's a backbreaker. So with 10.1 seconds. So it is an even strength goal, not a power play marker. With 10.1 seconds. So 19:51 of the period. Canucks get on the board. And Edmonton's down 1-0. Oh, well. It's preseason. It doesn't matter for shit. It doesn't matter. And I don't care what anyone says. So let's take a quick look at some stats here, just to kind of see what's going on. So let's do the box score here. So let's take a look at the Oilers' time on ice. So Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl leading the way. Obviously, that's going to be without a doubt. Troy Stetcher and Darnell Nurse. 7:58 for Stetch, 7:35 for Nurse. Yeah. Shots 10-7 in favor of the Canucks. Who's leading the time on ice for Vancouver? Vander Kane and Philip Hronik. Okay. Well, I mean, it was until that goal happened. It was an okay first period. I thought, I thought the I thought lines 2, 3, and 4 each had something good happen with them on the ice. The top line, until they drew that penalty, did nothing. It's a fucking it's preseason. There's literally nothing to talk about. So I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna keep the score on the screen here. Keep that going for you guys. But I'm just gonna take a break. So I will be back when the second period starts. See you in a bit. All right. We are back. Second period about to get underway. Yep. All right. Just got a final commercial here before the these commercials end. We got City TV going on right now. Okay, can we like skip to some fucking... Alright, so they're just doing a promo for the beginning of the regular season. Alright, here we go. So, last meeting. Oh yeah, they're talking about the last preseason game between these two teams. Edmonton won 4-2, if I remember correctly. All right, here we go. All right, face off. Won by Edmonton, and they're going to tip it into the Canucks zone, and it's not going to be icing. Canucks. Kiefer Sherwood. Stands up to Darnell Nurse. Canucks get a partial breakaway. Nice defensive play by, I don't know who that was. Here come the Oilers. Mangiapane is going to find Podkolzin. He's going to get stapled into the boards. And the Canucks are going to get the puck out. Nurse can't get that puck in time, and he's going up against O'Connor. Drew O'Connor, number 18 for Vancouver. Frederick over to a guy, finds McDavid. Or is that Podkolzin? That would be Podkolzin. Now McDavid's on the ice. Quinn Hughes. Frederick tries to get it back to the point. Ekholm. And the Canucks are going to push it into the Oilers' zone. Bouchard with Brock Besser trailing him. Draisaitl is going to spin off a check, and he's going to take it himself. Here goes Leon. Leon with some speed. Leon goes around the net. Up to the slot. He's going to get nearly taken out, and now he is going to get taken out, and we have a bit of a pile-up. Bouchard's there. Draisaitl's going to go in for support. The puck is going to escape the Oilers' zone. Or the Canucks zone. Ekholm finds McDavid. McDavid's going to wind it up. Connor stops up. Had the puck knocked off his stick briefly. Draisaitl goes back to the point. It just hops over Kulak's stick. And it's going to escape the zone. 17:58 here left in the second period. Score is 1-0 Vancouver. A guy sends it down low. Tried to go across into the slot for Vancouver, and Edmonton's going to escape that. Howard's going to send it in on Thatcher Demko. And Demko's going to sweep it into the corner. Now the Oilers are going to go in on the forecheck. Tomashik forces it clear. And the Oilers are going to send it right back into the Canucks zone. Elias Pettersson, the defenseman, couldn't get the puck out And the Oilers are going to hold it in, send it back low, back down behind the Canucks net. But there was no one there, so Elias Pettersson, the defenseman, is going to send it up to, I don't know who that is. I think that's that Coots guy. I see Kane out there, so yeah, it is Brandon Coots, or Braden or Brandon. Oilers are going to grab the puck. Henrique is going to find Philp. Noah Philp is going to... Do we have offside or a penalty? No, I think it was just offside. All right, Nurse in his own zone. Sends it over to Stetcher. Stetcher's going to send it, tip it, and that's not going to be icing. So the Canucks are going to have to escape the zone. Kane tried to get it around, couldn't do it. The Oilers are going to turn the puck back and send it back into the Canucks zone. Kane is going to sweep it into the Oilers zone. Pickett's going to stop it behind the net. Nurse and Stetcher are going to play pass. And now Nurse is going to stop behind the net. Calvin Pickard and Kiefer Showalter playing footsies with their sticks. Nurse is going to send it up to Nugent Hopkins. He's going to try and make a move. And he almost did. But Canucks are going to retain possession. Quinn Hughes over to Philip Roenick. Sends it over to a guy. He's going to dump it in the Oilers zone, but is going to stopped at the blue line by Matthias Ekholm. He's going to send it up to Mangiapane, who had it in his skates, but he manages to get it into the Canucks zone. And the Canucks are going to flip it out right to Evan Bouchard at center ice, who's going to send it over to Nugent Hopkins. Nuge. He's going to skate with it. Sends it over to Mangiapane. Canucks try to get it clear. Puck goes in. Nice defensive play there by that guy. He's going to take that shot. Puck holes in his, and it's going to get saved by Demko. Here come the Oilers. Shot. Saved by Demko. Mangiapane was on the doorstep, but he couldn't quite handle it. Ekholm's going to send it behind the net for Mangiapane. He's going to try and send it out for Draisaitl. Draisaitl's going to send it back to the point for Bouchard. Bouchard's going to walk the line. Sends it down low for Draisaitl. Draisaitl over to McDavid. McDavid back to the point for Bouchard. Bouchard is going to walk in, not take the shot. He's going to back pass or backtrack over to Ekholm. Ekholm's going to send it behind the net for Draisaitl. Draisaitl. And he's going to get it nudged off his stick. And the Oilers are going to have to clear the zone. Draisaitl off a pass from Bouchard. Gets it to McDavid. McDavid gets around one guy. McDavid goes, makes a move. Had it knocked off his stick. And the Canucks are going to have to clear it out. And that's going to be an icing call against Vancouver. All right. Bit of a better shift from the top line out there. I think, by my eye, Mangiapane has been... I think for me, the best player for Edmonton tonight has been Mangiapane. All right, back to the point. Howard sends it down low. Tomashik can't collect the puck. And the Canucks are going to get into the Oilers zone. Pass tries to send out in front, deflected, but it goes right back to Elias Pettersson. He's going to send it down low. He's going to get taken to the boards by Emberson. Jake DeBrusk. I think that's, Besser. It's the Brusque-Besser thing. Ike Howard sends it over to Tomashik, but he couldn't control the puck, and the Canucks are going to get the clear. Oilers are going to slap it back into the Canucks zone. Demko's going to stop it behind the net. Canucks are going to get it out to Darnell Nurse. Over to Troy Stetcher. Stetcher up to, or tried to get it up to a guy who was intercepted by the Canucks at center ice. They're going to slap it in the Oilers zone. And Calvin Pickard is going to stop it behind the net. That's going to get tipped into the Canucks zone, so it won't be icing. But I don't know who that is. Number 29 on the defense. I don't know who that is. Philp sends it over to Henrique. The puck deflects into the corner, so Philp and Henrique are going to go after it. Henrique back to the point for Nurse. Nurse walks the line. He's going to take that shot. It's going to get deflected into the corner. And the Canucks are going to grab it, and they're going to come out with it. Kane. Back to the point for Myers. Myers cross ice to his defense partner. Coots. Myers at the point. Pickard's going to stop behind the net. Leave it for Darnell Nurse. 11:54 left in the second period. Vancouver still holding their 1-0 lead. Nurse sends the puck up. Intercepted by the Canucks, but they can't really do much with it. Top line back on the ice. Roenick over to Hughes. Quinn Hughes steps around Frederick. Elias Pettersson can't get the puck in deep, and it's picked up by Leon Draisaitl. He's going to drop for McDavid. McDavid's going to wind it up. Pressured by Garland just enough to not get a clean. Sorry, that was Besser. My apologies. Oilers with good defensive coverage there, and here comes Draisaitl. Over to McDavid. McDavid fans on the back pass, but the Canucks fan on their pass, so it goes off Ekholm's skate. Over to Frederick. He's going to send it around the net, trying to find McDavid. Nothing doing there. And Oilers battling in the corner. Besser. He's going to flip it into the Oilers zone. Bouchard's going to be back to collect. And he's going to skate up with it. Bouchard gets around one guy. Gets around another. He goes cross ice to Mangiapane. Podkolzin's going to send it over to Nugent Hopkins. Nugent Hopkins finds Bouchard in the slot. Bouchard's going to get tripped. No call. That should be a penalty. And the Canucks have a 4-on-2 rush. And they can't do anything with it. Don't even get a shot on goal. That should have been a penalty on Vancouver, though. Edmonton should be on the power play right now, but they're not going to be because the NHL hates... Again, this is what I was afraid of when Corey Perry left. All right, Vancouver. Roenick. Shot. Save by Demko. Or sorry, Calvin Pickard, not Demko. All right. And so they're commenting on some sort of soccer player, the Canucks crowd tonight. All right, Quinn Hughes. He's gonna go in. He's gonna try and make a pass, but it's gonna get deflected blocked in front. He's gonna take it back to Hronek. Who's gonna take that shot? He's gonna miss the net. What's his name? Henrik takes a peek. Savoy, and on the forecheck. I love Savoy's game, man. This guy is like the gamer. Goes in on the forecheck. He's doing well. Yeah. I feel like both teams are just not caring at this point. And, look, shots are 11-9. We're more than halfway through the game. Neither team really is, like, putting out their best effort so far, I think. Which makes sense. You know, it's the final preseason game. Regular season hockey is less than, a week away. They're just going through the motions, I feel like. All right, so tried to pass it to Draisaitl. Puck went off his skate, so the Oilers can't get us out of the zone. Brett Kulak behind the net. Pressured by Sherwood. And he's going to send a pass too far, and it's going to go up to the defense. Myers. Over to, I think that's Marcus Pettersson. I'm not entirely sure. Vancouver is going to try to slap it in, but it didn't go very far. Draisaitl up to a or tried to send it up to McDavid, but that's going to be an icing call against Edmonton. All right. Face-off won by Vancouver. And Edmonton's going to find it and clear the puck into the Canucks zone. Quinn Hughes with Frederick looking him over. Sends it over to Hronek. Hronek's going to send it up to DeBrusk. He had trouble with it. It kind of deflected off Draisaitl's skate, but DeBrusk does manage to get it deep into the Oilers zone, so that's good. All right, McDavid. 3-on-2 rush for Edmonton. McDavid's going to try and find Draisaitl. Don't take an unnecessary penalty now, Draisaitl. Shot from the point behind the Vancouver net. And Nurse, who's also looked good in preseason. I'll give Nurse credit. He's looked good in preseason. Puck flipped into the Canucks zone. They're going to retain possession. And here comes a guy. He's going to put a spin move. He's going to drop for Connor Garland. He's going to drop it back to the defense. Defense guy's going to shoot. Stretch it behind the net. Kapanen. Up to a guy that's going to get deflected out. The puck is going to roll into the Canucks zone. And here come the Canucks. Cross ice. Shot. Potentially deflected, maybe saved by Pickard. Goes into the corner. Ekholm. Tries the bank pass off the boards. It went right to a Canucks player. Now the Oilers have a 5-on-2 rush. What is this? Kapanen's going to take the shot, and he scores! Kasperi Kapanen. A 5-on-2 rush. Look what happens when you shoot. That was a 5-on-2 rush from Edmonton. Tomashik drops to Kapanen, and he's just going to wire it. Boom. I love that. All right, Kapanen ties the game at 1. Fantastic stuff. And that was a 5-on-2 rush. It was that was Edmonton got lucky on that one. 5-on-2 rush for Edmonton. So, yep, Kapanen. Tomasic with the perfect drop pass as well, eh? Can't be understated how well Tomasic played that. He carried that puck. He saw he had a trailer. He dropped it perfectly. Now here comes Edmonton again. Mangiapane tries to send it back to the point, but he's going to get taken down. That should be another penalty against Vancouver. Vancouver's gotten away with 2 penalties in this period so far, and I'm not happy about it. All right. Puck into the Canucks zone. Quinn Hughes is going to stop it up behind the net. He's going to go send it up. It's going to get deflected. It's going to stop by the defense. Who's going to get it out? Right back to the Vancouver Canucks. Roenick is going to drop it for Hughes. He's going to send it back for Roenick. Roenick's going to set it up. He's going to send it over to Elias Pettersson. Pettersson's going to go for a skate. He's going to try and send it out in front. And here come the Oilers. A 3-on-2 rush now. Draisaitl. Drop pass for Bouchard. He's going to try and backhand. McDavid goes back to... You know, I love how McDavid, coming into the season, said he wanted to shoot more. And he's done the exact opposite of that so far in preseason. It is a remarkable shot saved by Pickard. Kulak gets it up to Frederick. He's going to send it up into the Canucks zone. Draisaitl on the forecheck, but the Canucks are going to grab it, and they're going to get it. They're going to escape with it. Sherwood sends it around for a guy. He's got Sherwood back to the point. Shot saved by Calvin Pickard. All right. So, one of the biggest things I've tried to do differently with the live streams this year is obviously I have the scoreboard on the screen. What I like to do, what I did as well, my biggest problem is that I would keep the scoreboard on one screen because it was always ahead of the stream I'm watching. So I always tried to so I always would catch glimpses of it. What I've done with my screen right now is, you guys won't see it, but on one screen I have the OBS Studio open, which is what I'm using now. And I have the screen on, but what I have is I have the chat window for YouTube covering the score. So all I see is Edmonton Oilers and Vancouver Canucks. I don't see a score. So I don't know what's going to happen next. I'm not being spoiled by scores, and I like that. So, anyway. Oh, shut up. You can't stop Connor. You can't stop Connor. All right. Face off won by Edmonton. Nurse in his own zone. He's gonna get nice play by Nurse. I'm not. You know what? Nurse has been good. Nurse has been good. He's going to take that shot. He's going to get it rised up on Thatcher. Nurse has been great in preseason. He's looked good. He's made several good plays with the puck, and I like what he just did there. He was under. Oh, puck out in front. And we have a power play here for Edmonton. So Vancouver took a penalty. As I was saying, that last play there, Nurse was under pressure in his own zone, and instead of panicking and just throwing the puck away, he uses his body to gain body position, and he makes a smart pass behind the Oilers' net. Now we have Willander for Vancouver going off for holding, so Edmonton's going to get their second power play of the game. They finally call a penalty on Vancouver. Amazing what happens when you start calling penalties here. So we're going to see what happens. So McDavid, Draisaitl, Nugent Hopkins, Tomashik, and Bouchard are your top unit. Hopefully they can convert a little bit more than what they did on the first one. So let's go ahead. And Oilers win the faceoff back to Bouchard. He's going to drop pass for Draisaitl, or he's going to send it down low for Draisaitl. Draisaitl with a backhand easy save for Demko. Draisaitl going to send it around for McDavid. McDavid back to Draisaitl. Draisaitl back to McDavid. McDavid back to Draisaitl. Draisaitl back to Connor. Connor back to... He's going to go cross ice to Bouchard. He's going to take that shot. Draisaitl rip the rip and the score on the power play. Leon Draisaitl. Yes. Yes. Good job. Good job, boys. Good job. Yeah. Yes. Yes. I like that. Yeah. So Bouchard with the shot. Demko with the good toe save, but it went right to Leon, and Draisaitl's not going to make that. Yes. Oh, my God. Yeah. Yes. Holy crap. Okay, it's preseason. I'm getting way too excited for this. All right, so Draisaitl's third of the preseason. It gives Edmonton a 2-1 lead after being down 1-0. Fantastic stuff. All right, Tomashik in his own zone, pressured, but he's going to win body position. He's going to get that puck to the blue line. He doesn't get it out, but he gets it out of harm's way, and that's important. Ekholm's going to send it around tried to backhand in the slot, but it was picked off. And now here come but it goes out. Kapanen pressuring Quinn Hughes. Kapanen, I know you got the game time goal, just don't take a penalty. Tomashik, he's going to flip that puck back into the Canucks zone with 2:40 left here in the second period. Roenick's going to start it up. Philip Roenick. He's going to dump it into the Oilers zone. Emberson's going to stop it behind the net. He's got two Canucks on him, but he has Nugent Hopkins for support. Canucks back to the point for Willander. Willander is going to send it down low. It's going to hop over Emberson's stick, but Emberson does have support in the form of Brett Kulak. He's going to grab that puck, and he's going to flip it out, and that's going to be an icing call against Edmonton, unfortunately. We're just gonna let that play out. All right, face-off to the right of Calvin Pickard. Nugent Hopkins is going to win that face-off back to Emberson. He's just going to take that puck and flip it out. You know what? No, I'm not going to comment on it. I'm going to wait till the regular season. Podkolzin bumps his guy to the ice, and then he gets knocked down. Here comes the Canucks. Or here come the Canucks, I should say. I have no idea who's on the ice. Oh, it's Coots with Kane and someone else. So Canucks behind the net. Kane back to the point for Willander. He's going to go cross ice. They're going to take that shot. It's going to get deflected out of play with 1:35. We might have our final commercial break. We might have a commercial break here. Yep, and we do. Edmonton leading it 2-1. Getting excited. It's preseason. I'm getting excited because you know what? I feel like this feels like a kind of sort of playoff game. So Podkolzin. So Elias Pettersson, the defenseman, is going to skate that. I think Elias Pettersson might be injured here. The defenseman Elias Pettersson. I have to keep saying that. He's gone down in the tunnel. So yeah, Elias Pettersson might be done for tonight. All right, minute 30 left here in the second period. Oilers have come back from 1-0 deficit, lead at 2-1 off of an even strength goal from Kasperi Kapanen and a power play goal from Leon Draisaitl-Hronek. He's going to drop it back to Hughes. Hughes is going to send it. It's going to be an easy fluttery save. It's a fluttering shot, so it's an easy save for Calvin Pickard. And we have not a scrum, but it's like a thing in the corner. Puck is pinned. Puck comes out. Matthew Savoy is going to pick up that puck. He's going to do a nice little flip into the Canucks zone, but it's not going to go enough for icing. Hronek's going to pick it up, send over to Quinn Hughes. Quinn Hughes is going to send it up to Elias Pettersson, the forward Elias Pettersson. I love how I have to specify that. That's amazing. God damn it, Vancouver. 40 seconds to go here in the second period. Connor Garland, he's going to send it down low. Tyler Myers going down low, pinching down low. Draisaitl. It's going to go back, and here comes Connor. Connor with Draisaitl and Frederick. Connor's going to find Draisaitl. Draisaitl tries to Frederick. Good save by Demko. My goodness. Oh, Vancouver tried the stretch pass. Excellent play. Was that Nurse? No, that was Ekholm diving to keep that puck from going all the way to the Canucks player. Otherwise, Vancouver would have had a breakaway. Connor goes cross ice to Frederick. And he's just going to hold it as time is going to run out. It could have been 3-1 Edmonton. Demko keeping his team in it with an absolutely fantastic save against Frederick. Oh, my God, what a save. That was perfectly executed too. Demko just saved the game. My God. So, Edmonton started the period down 1-0. They end the period up 2-1. And we're going to begin the third period here. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. That was a great... That was a... Anyway. So, yeah. All right, let's take a look at some quick stats here. Actually, let's just... All right, let's take a quick look at the stats after 2 here. Let's go ahead. So your scoring summary is as follows. With 19:49 left in the first period, Jonathan Lekkerimäki scored his second of the preseason, assisted by Braden Coots. At 13:40 of the second period, Kasperi Kapanen scored his third of the preseason, assisted by David Tomashik. And then at 16:40 of the second period, Leon Draisaitl scores a power play goal, assisted by Evan Bouchard and Connor McDavid. Stats after 2, shots are dead even at 16 apiece. Edmonton has won 60% of the faceoffs. They are 1 for 2 on the power play. Canucks are 0 for 1. Vancouver's out hitting Edmonton 16-13. Edmonton has blocked 6 shots. Vancouver has blocked 4. Vancouver has given away the puck 13 times. Edmonton has given the puck away 7 times. Vancouver has 5 takeaways. Edmonton has 1 takeaway. Your penalty summary is as follows. Kiefer Sherwood for tripping against Connor McDavid at 14:02 of the first period. And then Kasperi Kapanen interference against Marcus Pettersson at 17:48. Second period, Tom Willander holding against Noah Philp at 16:12, and that's when Draisaitl scored the power play goal. Looking at the time on ice for Edmonton, no surprise here. McDavid Draisaitl leading the charge. On defense, Darnell Nurse, 1549. For Vancouver, your Tom on ice is Elias Pettersson at 1247. The forward, Elias Pettersson. On defense, Philip Roenick, 1703. Yeah, pretty, I honestly, I don't really know what to describe about this game. I mean, obviously, I'm happy Edmonton's up 2-1, but I don't really know what to really think of that. So that's kind of where we're at. So I'm going to take my break now. I will see you guys at the beginning of the third period. Oilers are up 2-1 after 2. Okay, we are back. Third period about to get underway. Edmonton holding on to the they holding on. They have a 2-1 lead. Now the NHL has given Edmonton an extra shot here, so Edmonton is actually leading Vancouver 17. Oh, never mind. Edmonton's just. Oh, okay, there it is. Never mind. I thought Edmonton got another shot from at the end of the second. They did not. They just got a shot at the beginning of the third there. So. And I think that Elias Pettersson. Oh my goodness, Mangiapane in front of the net. Holy crap, that was a good opportunity. I think Elias Pettersson, the defenseman, is not playing anymore in this game. Another shot from Darnell Nurse. Easy glove save for... Okay. No word from the Vancouver's Twitter account that that Elias Pettersson guy, the defenseman, is going to be missing any time. But in any case, jeez, I thought that puck went in. DeBrusk managed to push it past. I think that was okay by Bouchard defensive-wise. Didn't allow Jake to really get a good opportunity on that play. All right, Frederick with the block, and here comes Connor. Connor's got Draisaitl. He's going to go cross ice. Went to Ekholm. Ekholm whiffed on the shot hard. Otherwise, that was a good opportunity. Draisaitl has the puck, sends it over to Bouchard. Bouchard, Connor is going to take the sharp angle shot. Saved by Demko. Bouchard's going to send it down low. Frederick behind the net. He's going to pressure Hronek. Hronek's going to flip it to Bouchard. Bouchard. And the Canucks are going to come up with it. Elias Pettersson drops for Hronek. He's going to get it back. He's going to take a circle back into his own zone. Oilers are going to go for a change. Quinn Hughes. He's going to try and send it out in front. Good block by the stick of Calvin Pickard. And the Oilers are going to get a rush here. Noah Philp Henrik tried to find Philp in front of the net. Puck couldn't quite get to him. Puck in the corner. We got Hughes being held against the boards by Savoy. We got Philp digging away at it. Puck finally comes free. Emberson. Overton Kulak, he's going to take that shot, and it's going to get saved by Demko. All right, like what I'm seeing so far. Yeah, I'm saying. All right. Face off to the right of Demko. You have Tomashik. Howard was right behind him, so Oilers went with an aggressive face off there. That puck is going to get flipped out of the Canucks zone. Nurse is going to find Stetcher. And all of a sudden, I don't know, this final spot on the top defensive, or the bottom, the number 6 defenseman slot is Nurse has had a good game. I'm going to say this. Nurse has had a very good game tonight. I like what I've seen out of Darnell. He's getting plenty of shots. I think that's his third or fourth shot on net this period. Forget the first two. Just this period alone, I think he's already got 3 shots on net. He's made solid defensive plays. Like, I've liked Nurse's game tonight, but I think Stetcher and Emberson have been fine as well tonight. So all of a sudden, Regula, Stetcher, and Emberson are all of a sudden all vying for that final spot as Howard tries to set up Tomashik. Tomashik couldn't get the shot that he wanted. The puck is going to get cleared out by the Canucks. Oh, Nurse is going to get beat by Sherwood. Nurse takes his guy to the boards. He's going after Sherwood here. Darnell, don't take a penalty. Please don't take a penalty. Nurse is without his stick. Shot by number 18. I think that's Arshdeep Baines. Sherwood. Shot. Blocked in front. Shot. Blocked in front again. Oilers are just going to take that puck and flip it to center ice. Darnell Nurse is going to go off on a change. Canucks are going to send the puck into the Oilers zone. Puck Olsen's going to send it back to Bouchard. He's going to try and flip it off the boards. Can't get it out, though. Tyler Myers sets up, goes, cross ice, tried to find Evander Kane. Evander Kane couldn't handle that pass. Lekari Mackey behind the net. He's going to take a shot. Coots goes back to the point. Puck shot deflected. Here comes Coots. He's going to drop for Kane. Evander Kane. He's going to go around. He's going to send it back to the defense. Tyler Myers couldn't handle that pass, and the puck is going to escape the zone. Kasperi Kapanen is now going to take it. He's going to find a guy who's just going to dump it into the Canucks corner. The Oilers are going to go for a change. I know Kapanen was at an end of the ship, but he had a potential 2-on-1 there. I feel like he should have taken it a bit better. Ekholm. He's going to send the puck up to Mangiapane. He's going to find Draisaitl. I don't believe that's Mangiapane. I believe that was McDavid. McDavid goes cross ice, tries to... Oh, it is Mangiapane. My apologies. Mangiapane getting the shift with Draisaitl and McDavid. Held at the blue line. Mangiapane back to Bouchard. He's going to take off the crossbar from Bouchard. Bouchard at the point. Drops for McDavid. McDavid goes or tries to go back to Bouchard, and all of a sudden it's a 2-on-1, and Draisaitl's the only defender. Here comes Jake DeBrusk. He can't get, and the puck just kind of rolled off his stick last minute. Will we have a penalty? Yeah, so Matthias Ekholm has taken a penalty. Where's the penalty, though? I'm wondering, because they didn't show anything. So this is Ekholm for holding. I'm not exactly sure where that holding call occurred. But in any case, both teams now have 2 power plays. Edmonton scored on theirs. Scored on one of theirs. Now will the Vancouver Canucks do the same? I'm hoping not. Alright, so you have Hedl, Lekarimaki, Garland, Hronik, and Hughes as your power play unit for the Canucks. Garland behind the Oilers' net. Puck almost knocked out of the Oilers' zone. Hronik. He's going to send it down low for Garland. Connor Garland back to Hronik. Up top for Hughes. Hughes back to Hronik. Face a slap shot. Back to Hughes. Quinn Hughes. He's going to walk it back to Hronik. He's going to take that shot. Even save by Pickard. And the Oilers are going to get a quick clear down the ice. They're going to send it all the way down on Demko. He's going to pass it up to Quinn Hughes. All right, here comes Quinn Hughes. Over to Garland. He's going to enter the zone. Did manage to get around Nuge. But Oilers can't clear it out. Shot. And that's a goal. So both teams have scored at even strength. Both teams have scored on the power play. And Lekkerimäki scores his second goal of the game. So both teams are 1 for 2 on the power play. All right, puck dumped in the Oilers zone. Bouchard's going to reverse it back to Ekholm. Draisaitl up to McDavid. McDavid enters the zone. That's going to be offside against Edmonton. Oh boy, we're going to have ourselves a commercial break. Okay. All right, Frederick shot blocked in front. That's kind of stung Elias Pettersson a little bit. McDavid gets the point for Bouchard. He's gonna nice little spin move. He can't force the shot through. Back to the point. McDavid's gonna manage to hold it in. McDavid tries just a weak backhand. He didn't have much power on it because he was still trying to control the puck. Canucks get it out. And slap it into the zone. Jake DeBrusk against Bouchard, and Bouchard's going to win that puck battle. Ekholm up to Connor, Draisaitl over to Connor, and the Oilers are going to go for a line change. 12:40 left in the third period. Score is tied up at 2. Both teams have scored an even strength goal, and both teams have scored on the power play. Kasperi Kapanen and Draisaitl for Edmonton, and Lekkerimäki for the Canucks. Lekkerimäki has 2. Puck battle in behind the Oilers' net. It's a 5-man pileup. 3 Oilers, 2 Canucks. Noah Philp just got high stick, no call. Quinn Hughes is going to take that shot. Saved by Pickard. Canucks still have possession. Quinn Hughes walking the line, stops up, sends it down low. Shot from that Willerman caught. Oh, puck is Savoy on a breakaway. Savoy shoots. Oh man, Savoy just had like a massive burst of speed there. I don't know what happened there. The puck just kind of like, I guess, bounced off of him. And anyway, he had a massive burst of speed. Willerman or something like that was the guy who had that shot and whiffed on it completely, and then the puck just kind of like bounced off Savoy, and he had everything going for him. Tomashik stops up, drops for, or leaves it for Ike Howard. Ike Howard tries to find. Oh, puck is just out of the reach with Tomashik there. Who was that? That was Kapanen with the good play, sent it back in front of the Vancouver net, and if Tomashik didn't have a stick tied up, he would have had a backdoor tap in. All the guys that I've been looking for to impress tonight, Tomashik, Howard, Savoy, have impressed me tonight. And Mangiapane. Mangiapane has impressed me as well. I think he's been Edmonton's best player tonight. Him and Nurse. If I was to give a 1-2 player grading, it would be number 1 would be Darnell Nurse, and number 2 would be Mangiapane. I think Nurse has been slightly more effective, but Mangiapane has had a good game. All right, Bouchard. Stretch pass, and that's going to roll in on Demko. He's not going to freeze it. He's going to send it over to his defense, and the Canucks are going to grab it. They're going to send it out, but it's going to get intercepted by Bouchard, who's going to... Yeah, Bouchard. Nugent Hopkins, pressured. He's going to escape the pressure. Sends it over to Mangiapane. He's going to get it up to Podkolzin, Vasily Podkolzin. He's going to win that puck, but he'll send it around for Nugent Hopkins. Whalers have the puck at the point. Emberson tried to pass over to Kulak, and it was intercepted by the Canucks. Shot. Saved by Pickard. Here come the Oilers. Mangiapane. Podkolzin there too. Podkolzin can't win the puck battle. Canucks are going to come up with it. Here comes Vancouver. And we have a power play against... We have a penalty against Edmonton. So Vancouver's going to go back to the power play. Oh boy. Oh, great. All right. Oh, man. Arshdeep Baines was close to taking the... Oh, Mangi. That's a bad penalty to take. So Mangiapane is off for roughing. Vancouver gets their third power play of the night. They are 1 for 2. And Edmonton's penalty kill hasn't looked good in this game, so I expect this to go in and Vancouver to take the lead. So, and if that's the case, I think it's going to be game over for Edmonton. We'll see. 1 for 2, 2 shots. I absolutely think this is going to be a goal. Quinn Hughes walks the line. Oh, never mind. We're going to have 4-on-4 here. No, it's going to be 5-on-3. Are you fucking kidding me? Well, now it's Draisaitl. Oh, Draisaitl. What happened there? Oh, Leon, you can't do that. What are you doing there, dude? Oh my god. Yep. All right, well, this is going to happen. All right, well, this is definitely going to happen now. So, for 1:46, the Canucks will have a 5-on-3 power play. All right, Quinn Hughes. Over to Peterson. Back to Besser behind the net. Over to DeBrusk. Back to Besser. Back to Hughes. Hughes. Patterson. Hughes. Lines fires. Puck deflected in the corner. That should be a penalty. And that is going to be a penalty. So Evander Kane. Stop me if you heard this before. Evander Kane took an offensive zone penalty. So Kane with the trip on Emberson. And, oh boy. I did not miss those offensive zone penalties. All right, so it's now a 4-on-3 power play for 1:20, and that'll be a 4-on-4, and then I think Edmonton will have like a very small man advantage. But have the Canucks taken a timeout? Yeah, the Canucks have taken their timeout here. Oh, boy. Okay. Face off to the right. Oh, that's interesting. So it starts in the Canucks zone. I guess it's because the penalty was on. That's interesting. I've never seen that before. All right, 1:10 left to go on the 4-on-3. So Pettersson behind the net. Over to DeBrusk. DeBrusk is going to send it over to Quinn Hughes, but the pass is going to skip over Hughes' stick and it's going to escape the zone. Here we go. Hughes gains entry. He's going to send it back to Besser. Brock Besser over to Quinn Hughes. Hughes cross to Pettersson. Pettersson back to Hughes. Over to Besser. He's going to take that shot. Save and then a rebound save by Pickard. Fantastic save. Saves from Pickard. He makes the initial stop and then he kicks out the pad for the rebound. Hughes back to Besser. Over to Hughes. Hughes tried to take a pass, but he whiffed on it. And it's not going to happen. All right. Hughes. Cross to Besser. Besser. Or that's not Besser. That's Pettersson. My apologies. Puck back to the blue line. Patterson. Besser fires. Stopped by Pickard. Mangiapane out of the box, and we have 4-on-4 for 6 seconds. Mangiapane drops for Nuge. Nuge tried to go cross ice to Mangiapane. Now the Oilers have an abbreviated power play for 25 seconds with 7 minutes to go here in the third. So that was, holy moly, that was an adventure. Canucks are going to get the clear. Yeah. Neither team, well, the Canucks were the only ones who really were able to set up on the power play. 6 seconds to go in the power play for Edmonton. Nothing doing there. So, yeah, this one I don't even count as a power play for Edmonton. McDavid's going to get entered into the zone. Puck is bouncing around. Bouchard's going to be back at center ice to collect. He's going to try and pass it. It's going to... So now Ike Howard's getting a look with McDavid and Draisaitl. This is interesting. Calvin Pickard. Send it over to Bouchard. Bouchard finds Draisaitl. Draisaitl's going to try and send it up to Howard, but it can't do it. So it's going to go to McDavid instead. McDavid tried to go cross ice to Draisaitl. Draisaitl is going to try and stop it behind the net. Puck comes out to Draisaitl, and it's going to bounce in front of Demko, and he's going to smother that puck for the face-off, and I believe we're going to have ourselves a commercial break. Nope, no commercial break. Okay. All right, Tomashik is going to take the face-off against Teddy Bluger. Okay, that's who's 53 on Vancouver is. I wanted to say Bo Horvat. All right, so Tomashik wins the face-off, and puck holes in. He's going to try and send it in front of the net, but it's going to get picked off by the Canucks. Oilers kind of jumbling their lines here because of the power plays and penalty kills, so that kind of makes sense. So you have Tomashik with Savoy and Podkolzin right now. Savoy's is going to dump it into the Canucks corner. Podkolzin's going to go after it, and it's not going to escape play, so Darnell Nurse with a keep. He's going to send it down low. Hronek's going to send it over to a guy. That's going to get deflected in the Oilers zone. Pickard's going to stop it and send it up to Savoy, who's going to give it over to Tomashik. Tomashik's going to pressure number 80. Canucks send it in. Pickard's going to stop behind the net. He's going to give it to Noah Philp. Philp over to Stetcher. Up to a guy. It's going to get deflected into the Canucks zone. Philp's going to be the first on. He's going to try and send it out in front to Henry. Henry couldn't quite handle that pass. Shot from the point. Block, save by Demko. Stetcher. Working it down low behind the Canucks net. Here comes Evander Kane for Vancouver. He's going to chip it past Nurse. Try to send it in front. Couldn't do it. Nurse up to Henrique. Henrique is just going to flip that puck to center ice. Gloved by Tyler Myers. He's going to send it over to Elias Pettersson. Marcus Pettersson. My apologies. Nurse to McDavid. McDavid tried the back pass to someone, and it got briefly intercepted by a Canucks player, but he couldn't hold on to it. So now the Canucks just going to hold it in their zone. 4:14 left here in the third period. Ekholm couldn't quite control the pass. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Shot saved by Pickard. Marcus Pettersson across to Myers. He's going to send it down low. Shot saved by Pickard. Oilers running around a little bit in their own zone here. Can't get the puck. Puck it deflected out, though. Marcus Pettersson's going to stop it in his own zone. He's going to send it over to Tyler Myers. Myers. Try to pass over to Garland. Puck deflected. And here come the Oilers. McDavid. Tried to make a move. It went off a Canucks skate. And it's going to go right to a Canuck player in the Oilers zone. But he's going to get picked off. And here comes Draisaitl now. Leon Draisaitl is going to go wide. He's going to send it back to the point. Shot. Weak shot by Ty Emberson is going to be saved by Demko. And we're going to have ourselves a commercial break. What a move by Connor Garland there to get around. Okay. Yeah, I should have gone to the... Okay, 3:24 left in the third period. 2-2 game between Edmonton and Vancouver. Edmonton is out shooting the Canucks 27-25. I think Vancouver has outshot Edmonton this period, though. Vancouver had, 19 shots? Edmonton had, 24 or something like that? I don't know. Anyway, Kiefer Sherwood sends it across, tries to find a guy in front, couldn't do it. Canuck player pinching down low. Puck is going to come out in the slot for Quinn Hughes. He's going to take a skate. He's going to go across to Hronek. Hronek's going to take a shot. Pickard has no idea where the puck is. Come on, Pickard, get back in the net. Hronek tried to go across. Nothing doing there. Mangiapane is going to pick it up. He's going to chip and charge. He's going to take it down. That should be an interference call against the Canucks, but it's not going to be a thing. Puck at the blue line, briefly held before poked out by Kiefer Sherwood. 2:35 left. Are we going to have overtime or are we going to have a late goal? McDavid tried to make a move, couldn't do it. Puck dumped back into the Oilers' zone. Nurse is going to get it out. Kapanen over to Tomasik. He's going to take down a guy. No penalty called. Puck dumped back in. 2:16 left. Stetcher tried to find Kapanen. That puck is going to get all the way back into the Canucks zone, but it's not going to go far enough for icing. Tyler Myers is going to pick it up and stop behind his net. He's going to send it up to, I don't know who that is. Canucks tried to chip it into the zone. Shot. Righted over the net. Rose over the net. Minute 49 left in the game, or in the third period in a tie game. Puck back to the point. Canucks are going to get back into the zone. Jake Hedl tried to make a move, couldn't do it. Tomasik, or that's Philp. My apologies. Noah Philp. Adam Henrique. Canucks try to get it out and do get it out. But Bouchard is going to send it back to Ekholm. He's going to give it back to Bouchard. Evan Bouchard over to Ekholm. Ekholm is going to send it up for Savoy. Henrique. And Philp behind the Canucks net. Puck escapes the zone. Bouchard's going to collect. Tried to send it over to Savoy. Savoy couldn't handle the pass. And with 1 minute to go in the third period, the Canucks are regrouping in their own zone. Canucks send it in the Oilers zone, into the corner. Nurse over to Stroy Stetcher. Nurse Stetcher continues to be a good pairing. Stetcher over to, or tries to get it in. He's going to dump it in, and that's going to be icing against Edmonton. Oh my goodness. Pickard had no idea where that puck was. All right, face off to the right of Calvin Pickard. It's going to be a scramble draw, but Vancouver's going to come away with it. Tyler Myers is going to take that shot. He's going to miss the net. Puck is going to hop over Draisaitl. Puck is going to be at the blue lines, bobbled. And we have an offside call with 23 seconds to go. Exactly 23 seconds to go. Oh boy, that's not going to end well. All right. 8 seconds left in the period. And we are going to be headed to overtime. puck shot in, gloved by Demko, and the Edmonton Oilers and the Vancouver Canucks are going to be heading to overtime. So, there we go. All right. So they're just doing recaps of the goals. So Lekari Mackey got everything started. Oh, they're just highlighting Lekari Mackey. Okay, never mind. Okay. So we're gonna have, well, it's gonna be McDavid, Draisaitl, Bouchard for Edmonton to start. I'd imagine Vancouver's gonna go with Besser, Hughes, and Pettersson. It's just my start. That's my guess for the start of the overtime. Or they might put Lekari Mackey out there. He's been pretty good for. I mean, he scored both of Vancouver's goals, so interesting to see what happens. But let's see what we got here. Demko fixing his glove. Pickard doing some stretches. So yeah, McDavid, Draisaitl, Bouchard to start for Edmonton. They're having a little conversation about what they want to do. And okay, so it looks like there's okay. So I didn't. Okay, so okay. So I don't know. Okay, so they've got Pettersson, Hronek. So they're starting Pettersson. Okay, so I only got one of the three Vancouver Canucks right. So they're starting Pettersson with DeBrusk and Hronek. And Hronek's going to drop for DeBrusk. He's going to get it up to Pettersson, but it's going to be Pettersson's feet. He's going to have to sort of turn around here. Sends it up to DeBrusk. DeBrusk is going to stop, turn back to... Okay, so now Quinn Hughes is on the ice. So they've swapped out Hronek for Hughes. So Quinn Hughes is going to stop it behind his net. Casually shadowed by McDavid. He's going to send it up to Pettersson. And, okay, so now they have Brock... Okay, so now they have Besser and Pettersson out there. Or, Besser and Hughes with Pettersson. So they probably only did DeBrusk and Hronek because McDavid and Draisaitl started. Once Vancouver got possession, there we go. So now it's a 3-on-2 rush for Vancouver. Quinn Hughes drops for Pettersson. Goes cross ice to Besser. Besser back to Hughes. Hughes back to Pettersson. He's going to take that shot. He's going to miss the net. And what a sad start to overtime for Edmonton. They haven't touched the puck, and they've already played 1 minute and 10 seconds of overtime. Garland back to a guy. Man, if Edmonton... Yeah, here comes Garland. Connor Garland. Oh, boy. Cross ice for Hronek. Back to Connor Garland. He's going to sneak in. He's going to go, and he's going to score. Well, that was pretty pathetic by Edmonton. They didn't get a single touch. What a pathetic overtime. McDavid, Draisaitl, and Bouchard never even... They didn't touch the puck. They didn't even get off the ice. Wow, that is pathetic. Well... Like, what was that? Like, they don't care. Jesus. If you needed any indication about how meaningless preseason is, look at this the lackluster attack or attempt by anyone on that overtime. Oh, well, it is what it is. Oilers end the preseason with a 3-2 overtime loss to the Vancouver Canucks. Thank God the preseason is over. Yeah. So, yeah, I agree. Well, anyway, preseason is over, and the Edmonton Oilers begin the regular season on Wednesday at home against the Calgary Flames. Game is at 8 p.m. Mountain Time. I will have that for you on here at 10 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, I agree. This is just seeing a tweet from Tyler DT. It's just preseason in quotes. Maybe even a little bit of fucking effort from our main guys would have been nice. These habits you take into a season. That was a gross game for our guys. For the most part, need a hell of a lot more come Wednesday. I agree. Preseason or not, the body language was just. Yeah, I agree. That was a pathetic effort in overtime. Honestly, it really was. In any case, that's it for this one, guys. I appreciate everyone for tuning in, and I will see you guys on Wednesday. Oilers lose. Final preseason game, 3-2 in overtime to the Vancouver Canucks. Bye, guys. Stay safe. Have fun. And I'll see you Wednesday.